Hi everyone, it is Takesha here. If you're watching this, thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to go over my everyday type of work, makeup-ish, running errands. I don't feel like doing anything more than this type of makeup look. So if you are interested in this, please keep watching. I think any part of a really nice everyday pretty type of look is definitely the skin. I used to buy really high coverage type of foundations to try to cover up everything, and that really just doesn't work. It's you want to try to get really nice healthy looking type of skin. So I always start that with a primer. So I'm using let's see if this can focus. Yeah, there we go. The Tarte, what's this called, Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. So I usually rotate in between this one and the Bare Minerals Professional, but today I'm going to use this one. I've been really liking kind of the way it looks, so I'm going to use my Carly Bible palette as as a mirror. So put that on. Ooh, kind of messy, kind of okay, so you just want to rub it in on to your face, and I have a headband on so I don't get foundation and all that type of stuff in my hairline. But I'm pretty generous with this, probably put a little too much on, but you know what, yellow. Now I'm going to take my wet sponge. This is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion type of sponge, I think is what it's called. And I am going to use my foundation. So I've been I got a lot of foundations like I mentioned, and I always end up going back to this one, and it's a drugstore foundation, the CoverGirl 3-in-1 Outlast foundation. It's so good, and I think it's a medium coverage, so you can sheer it out if you want, you can build it up if you want, so it's really good. It's also not too orange, which I find is really a problem for deeper foundations like what I need. So I use shade 875 and the color is Soft Sable. So I use maybe 2 to 3 pumps of it, probably more so too. Okay, thing doesn't want to work. There we go. And then just want to blend that all over your face. So yeah, kind of as I mentioned, I don't really worry about trying to cover up everything. I scar really easily when it comes to acne and breakouts. I don't really get breakouts too often, but when I do, I pretty much always scar, and they stay for quite some time, which is unfortunate. But as I mentioned, I don't try to cover up those things, or at least not so much anymore. I definitely did in the past for sure, but that just doesn't work out too well for me, unfortunately. I just end up looking really orange, which is totally not cute at all. So once you have this kind of blended in, I move on to my concealer, which I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, which I've been really liking lately. I used to use the MAC Pro Longwear and all that type of stuff, but I've really been liking this one lately. I'm in the shade Deep for that. And then my face is already pretty wide already, so I don't really bring it out like a lot of people do when it comes to their makeup. I bring it more so down so my face doesn't look wider than it already is. Put a little bit underneath there. I don't really focus on highlighting too much. It's more so just to cover up my bags because I have a really dark under eye, and then also lid space is pretty dark too, so I just want to cover that up. And when I bought this at the time, or at least at my local Ulta, and I live in Colorado, so there isn't much shade variation or anything, this was the darkest shade that they had, which works out fine when you blend it out and all that type of stuff. So I'm just going to blend it out with the other side of my sponge, the kind of pointy type of side. So next I want to powder my under eyes because mine crease quite quite a bit. So for this, I'm using the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent setting powder. They have a deep version of this, which I really do want to try, but I have not gotten around to picking that up yet. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. And for this, I'm using a Morphe brush. This is Morphe M438. I don't know if that's like focusing. Is it focusing? A little bit. Okay, so this is the Morphe M438, and it's kind of like one of those teardrop type of brushes, which I find like works really, really well underneath my eyes, which is really nice. So I just like tap off the excess in here. I usually end up getting powder like everywhere, but that's okay. And then I just stick that underneath my eye. I keep it light because otherwise you can look a little bit like a ghost, and as I mentioned, I don't want to go overboard with the highlighting, at least not for when I'm going into work. So I just take it easy. I don't bake or like do anything like that, at least just like on a day-to-day type of basis. I just keep it simple. And just set it for the purposes of it not really creasing. Next, I move on to bronzing, and I bronze. I don't like full on contour when I go to work, or like I'm doing it like really easy like day-to-day like type of makeup. So I do use a contour powder though, because I find a lot of bronzers, at least really deep bronzers, they go really the red or orange or something like that. They're really good for the summertime, but here for the winter I tend to stick to like a contour shade kind of like this. That's a little on the cooler side but not too cool. So the one that I'm using is the Makeup Geek contour powder, and this is in the shade Deal Breaker. This is their warm deep contour powder, and I really like this one because she has shades for like fair or porcelain fair, and then medium and deep I think is what it is. And so she has a warm shade for every skin tone and a cool shade for every skin tone. So I used to find that when I was just using like really dark like really cool shades, it was just dirty looking on my face. So I really like this one because it has like a slight warmth to it, so it's not like my face looks dirty. And I just want to add like a little bit of color and look a little bit tan, so that's why I really like this powder, just really nice. And so I just take it, I don't contour or bronze really my nose, but I just take it a little bit underneath my cheekbones slightly. I don't do anything really crazy. And then I take it up onto my forehead here. Oh, I got like a brush here. Oh, I didn't even talk about the brush I was using. So for this, I use the Morphe 527 brush. It's like a bigger version of their actual contour brush, and I can't remember the name of that one off the top of my head, but that's what I use like when I'm going out and I want like more of a you know, cut these hoes like type of contour. But I don't do that obviously when I go to work because I don't want to cut anybody in the office. For highlight next, I am using the Gold Deposit highlighter by MAC. Whoops. So this is in the shade Gold Deposit. I've had this, it's April, almost a year, so about 10 months, and I have barely, let me just show you. It's really hard to open. That's the one like qualm I have with this product, but I barely touched it. I haven't even put a dent in it. I haven't even like thought about hitting pan or anything like that. So it's a really pretty highlight because I'm like a deeper skin tone. And for highlighting, I like to use this brush. This is another Morphe brush. I went on like a Morphe brush buying spree last summer, and I like their brushes because they're inexpensive, and I don't know, that's the first time that I actually really tried them, so I like them so far. And this is, what is it called? The Morphe M501, and it's a really nice like type of highlighting brush. So I will take that. I take it right down my nose slightly, and I don't go overboard with the highlighting for work either. I just want like just a little bit of a glow, just slightly. And this Carly Bybel palette actually has a lot of highlighting shades. I haven't really like played around with it too much, but I'm pretty excited to play with it. I'll probably do like another video on it and just showing what it looks like on deeper skin. And then I take the highlight right up here on the tops of my cheekbones. When I go out at night, I usually like go ham on the highlighting because I just like the way that it looks. But for work, I like to take it a little bit easy, but I also like that, you know, little glow that you get. So You can see it there, looks really, really nice with the natural sunlight. And the office that I work at, it has a lot of windows and things like that, so it just like looks really, really pretty. After highlighting, I guess I'm moving to my brows. I'll probably do a video on like actually how I do my brows, but I'll just show you guys what I'm using for that, because some people ask me what I like to use. I don't really have that many eyebrows. As you can see, like my eyebrows are very, very thin. So like first of all, let's start. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I really, really like this because it has a very, very small like type of tip for the pencil. And that's really nice because I don't have that many eyebrows. So the dip brow and the brow definer and things like that, like it's too much for my eyebrows because they're not much of anything. So I'm probably just gonna run through this really quick, and I'll probably like do another like type of video on how I like really fill in my brows. But I am using I think the writing has even rubbed off, but this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Eyebrow Gel, and I like this. I mean, it works, it's cool. I used to use what was it? What's that brand? A clear mascara. I can't remember the name of the brand, but I used to use a clear mascara, and that worked fine too. But I got this last summer just to try it out, and it works really well. And your brows stay in place, which is good. You don't want your brows to go anywhere, ever. Ooh. All right, brows are done. Okay, moving on to the eyes now. I don't really ever wear eyeshadow to work because I'm lazy, let's be honest, and also I don't really have that kind of time. I'm like barely putting on what I put on sometimes when I go into the office. So I usually just stick to mascara, and I do 2 different kinds of mascara. The first is I use the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara. Ooh, can you see that? Yes. I also really like their Real by Benefit, but sometimes I don't feel like buying that all the time, so it's expensive. And then also I use the CoverGirl, here we go, the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara. I like to use 2 because this one, this one is lengthening, and then this one is like voluminizing. Voluminizing, is that a word? It gives you volume, whatever. So I start off with this one. I let it dry a little bit in between, and then I go on with the second one. Okay, now we just need to do lips, and that is pretty much it. I usually go for like some type of gloss. Actually, I need to go find it. Excuse me. Okay, I usually like to go for the Anastasia, not Anastasia. It's actually the NYX Butter Gloss, and it's in the shade Ginger Spice, something like that, but I can't find that right now. So I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss, and I believe this is Terra. It's like a pinky like type of gloss. But I think it makes you look like really healthy and girly and things like that. So there we go. This is a pretty like, you know, very simple like type of look for, you know, work or just running errands or whatever that you know, kind of may want to do. Very, very easy. I can usually do it within maybe like 10 minutes or something like that if I'm rushing. But I'm the type of person where if I have more time to do something, I will. So I don't know, I think I sat here for like 20 minutes doing it, but it really doesn't necessarily take that long. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.